Hey, Tasha. So, this week I have some stuff I want to talk about before we get started,
Oh, yeah?
like usual. So, let me start with a story from Uber that I thought was funny, but at the same time, I was like, this bitch. I was talking to, so I picked up this guy near my house. He was going to play. So it was like a 30-minute trip.
Okay.
And as we were driving, we're talking a lot throughout the entire trip until
That's
we get
pleasant.
about 10 minutes from his destination. And I asked if he had ever heard the Weeknd's version of the song Dirty Diana, which is Michael Jackson's song
Right.
from back in the day. And he said, no, I hadn't heard that. I said, okay, let me play it for you. So I put it on my radio. And the song is only like 5 minutes. And as soon as it ends, I go, so what did you think? And I hear, and I was like, this motherfucker fell asleep.
That's hilarious.
Such a short time. I was like, this bitch right here.
Yeah, and you can't very well wake him up because he's a client, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
had to wake him up
hilarious.
when we got to the destination, but I was like, bro, I would say it's rude. It is like 1 o'clock in the morning, though, so it's like, whatever. But it's kind of rude, right?
He left you high and dry, dude.
I was like, hey, man, listen to this. I really want you to hear this. And he goes, yeah, sure. Not.
I mean, on the other hand, talking might have been what was keeping him awake.
Yeah, I figured that as well. I'm not actually upset about it. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, man. I am the worst when it comes to staying awake on a car ride.
Oh, I know.
Unless I'm talking to somebody or there's good music playing that I can sing along to. Okay.
No, you
Or
still fall asleep.
recently, no, not true, because I can sing along and stay awake.
Mm-mm.
Oh, and recently, if there's a good podcast on, I might be able to stay awake, though that's iffy. I am asleep otherwise. Asleep.
I mean, our trip back from Austin when Ernesto was driving, you were passed out even though we had music on the whole time.
Yeah, he had shitty music on.
No, we had good music.
Shitty.
Ernesto was driving. He wouldn't let us play really bad music.
Yes, he would. Me and him have different music tastes.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say. I was going to talk. Now I've forgotten what it was.
It's probably aliens.
It was aliens. Thank you. Oh my God.
You're welcome.
Right there.
Fucking aliens.
So, what do you think about all this?
I think it's overdue, and everybody's overwhelmed with other shit. Okay? So, yeah. Oh, yeah, aliens? Yeah, well, fuck. It's like that. That's on the back
Aliens
burner.
are so low on the list.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, but I feel the same almost. Like I'm underwhelmed with the notion of aliens.
But I also think that part of us is just, okay, cool. Because we've gotten so used to everything else, being so weird and different. And it's just now, it's like, yo, there are aliens? Cool. Nice.
Yeah, man. There's another video I was watching. I feel kind of the same. Kind of like what you're saying. I mean, yeah, cool. Aliens. Whatever.
The only question I have about all of that is why is it only the U.S. government? Or is there like a secret faction of different world governments that work together, But it does seem like it's only the U.S. government. And if it is only the U.S. government, why? Why are they crashing here?
Who knows, man? And
Yeah.
my thoughts is there's got to be nations with a faction for this. I haven't researched into it, but surely we're not the only ones.
Yeah, I've always thought aliens have to exist somewhere in the universe because the universe is just too large to think we're the only thing, the only life that exists anywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
But I had never really entertained the idea that they had been here, other than like, in that conspiracy theory type way where I'm watching Ancient Alien. And I'm like, oh, that does make sense.
Ancient Aliens. Such a good show.
It is.
Some episodes are really out there, but some episodes are like are right on.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that people are like, that never happened, when they watch that show, is because sometimes it's a little too plausible, and you're like, huh, like, why wouldn't that be the case?
Maybe.
How has your week been?
My week's been alright. Still a little sick, but it's been alright. We got to with water balloons, and the kids got to play in a little pool, little kiddie pool, with Jilly, their cousin. They had a lot of fun. Oh, and I went to a baby shower.
How was that?
That was fun. It was outside, but it was still fun. It wasn't so bad in the shade, and they had one of those giant, like one of those giant fans. It's like 5 feet tall from the floor up.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
those big ass fans, like commercial fans. And I got to catch
yeah,
up with my cousins. It's been a while since I talked to them. And I got to promote our show, What M Dreams.
yeah. You were telling me I got a
Yeah, which
couple
is
of new
good.
followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that was nice. And hopefully we can have one as a guest. One or more.
Yeah. Well, are you ready to get into it?
I am ready.
All right. Hit them with the what is it? The intro, Tasha.
Welcome to What M Dreams. I am one of your hosts, Tasha, and I'm here with,
Dustin.
and we're here to talk to you about dreams.
Dreams,
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 dreams.
dreams. Again with the offbeat.
You're off.
Get it together, Justin. It's a one, a two, a one. Just kidding.
I will stab you.
No, you will not. Not through the phone, anyway. Physically impossible.
Next game night,
Yeah, you could do it
I'm gonna
then, I
make it my
guess.
mission. I'm gonna make it my mission to sit next to you, and you're just gonna be like, "Oh, what are you sitting over here for?" Stab.
No, I'm gonna be ready. I have the reflexes of a ninja.
Oh, okay. So, did you have any dreams this week?
I did. I don't remember them much, but I do have some written down from the week before and from last week.
Yeah, I've got some written down as well. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I'll start with a very, very short dream that I had that
Okay.
there's not much to describe about it. So I dreamt that I was in my backyard and there was a raccoon in my backyard. And I kept trying to get it to leave, but instead it running around me toward the house. And I was like, no, 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 definitely not in the house. Not in the house. And it ran into my garage. And so I'm sitting here trying to get a broom, you know, push it out the other way, but it keeps going deeper into the garage. And then it disappears behind some boxes.
Okay.
And then there are two ways into my garage. Well, technically, I guess there's four ways into my garage, but there are two ways into the house from my garage. There's one by the kitchen and one by the living room. And the thing had disappeared behind some boxes, and I was like, I can't deal with this right now. And I go inside, and I see the raccoon has gone in through the living room while I went in by the kitchen. And so then it runs around into the house, and I'm still fighting it off with this stupid broom, and it's still just running through the house. I finally get it toward the back door, but I woke up before I could actually get it out.
It is just a regular ass raccoon.
Yeah, it was just an asshole raccoon because he was like, no, no, I want to be in your house. He literally had to come so close to me in the dream in order to get into my garage. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, why? Why do you care so much about my garage? What's in here?
Strange. So someone recently entered your life and you don't want him there? I don't know. I'm just trying to speculate.
That's,
Why?
it's funny you say that.
Hmm.
Beard stroke. I have to say it out loud because you can't see me on camera. Thoughtful beard stroke.
I was wondering why you said it out loud. So there might be someone then, huh?
It's a possibility.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was the end of that dream. Do you have one that you want to go with, or?
Sure. Okay. So there was a dream I had. I'm pretty sure it was the week before last week. In this dream, I'm in a government building. Okay. And I'm going to preface this dream with the fact that I know that this is not how real government works. It was just in my dream. Okay. So I'm going in this government building with a friend who happens to be a congresswoman. Okay, so she belongs in the building in my dream.
Okay.
I do not. Dream me did not. I recognize nobody else in my dream. I only recognize the congresswoman. But in real life, I don't recognize the congresswoman. In real life, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
So they were just a bunch of people made up. So the congresswoman in my dream takes me inside the building. Like she escorts me. We're walking together, and all of a sudden, for some reason, because dream, I know that everyone in America is mad at Congress for passing a law. What is the law? Don't remember because dream, but I know everyone's mad. So we walk down the hall, and in my mind, I'm like, damn, everybody's mad. Okay. I see a bunch of people. I see a bunch of people inside the office building. And when we get inside, I realize it's members of Congress. I don't recognize anyone in my dream, but I do know, or in real life, both, either in real life or in my dream, aside from the congresswoman. And all of the people inside the building, they're tense and they're all talking to each other. So apparently, come to find out, one or several of the members of Congress passed the law in secret the night before, and no one else in Congress knew about it. So
Oh,
they were trying to figure out who had done it, who passed the law, who pissed off everyone, and nobody wanted to say who did it. Like nobody wanted to confess. So the naysayers of the law were pissed. They were pissed that this law was passed without them knowing. Okay. There were other people, part of Congress, who were acting neutral, like they didn't mind whether or not it was passed. But still, no one could figure out who did it. So everybody was acting like they were on the same side.
it's giving Parks and Rec.
Really, I still need to watch that show.
You'd like it.
So,
Go ahead.
of course, the congresswoman and I had or felt obligated to initiate an informal investigation. Who
Okay.
voted for the law? Who voted? It was like a whodunit dream. So I remember us pulling congressmen and congresswomen to the side and like out into the hallway to try and question them one by one, privately.
Yeah.
And all of them were being nosy while we were questioning it, while we were questioning one. So they were like peeking in on our questionings. I remember taking one out into the hall, and some would look through the window of the door out into the hall to like try and see what we're talking about. Some were peeking at us from above in a hole in the ceiling.
What?
It doesn't make sense because Jane.
Okay.
Some were peeking at us from below, from holes in the floor.
Okay.
Some were just peeking at us from around the corner, like around the hallway corner. They're all being nosy. Okay. We narrowed it down. Finally, of course, it was me. I was able to narrow it down because I'm the hero.
Oh.
Okay. I was able to narrow it down to a couple of people, and I had like a whole flow chart going on a bulletin board. But we never did find out who it was before I woke up. So, and when I was questioning people, there were Congress folk, like they knew I was an outsider, and they're like, is she supposed to be here though? And we're like, no, don't worry. I'm the Congresswoman's friend. It's okay. You can
I'm
trust
a
me.
private detective, apparently.
Apparently. That's all I remember of that dream.
Nice. Ridiculous, but nice. What I did notice, though, is that this is like the second dream where you've been inside a government building, but the third dream in as many weeks where it's had to do with government.
Yeah, it is.
You're apparently hyper-fixated on the government.
I guess so.
Or it's more of like authority in general. You're hyper-fixated on authority.
Ooh, that might make more sense.
Are you worried about something?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I've been worried
All
about
right.
our district admin and people who work for our district. We've been on the news for some things recently that I've been pretty worried about.
I haven't seen that. but then again, I don't watch the news.
But yeah, it's a legitimate worry.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about my other dreams. It was also very short and mundane.
Okay.
I had a dream that I was making biscuits. I was making a huge mess in the kitchen. I actually burned a couple of them, and my mom was like there, and she was trying one. She tried one of the burned ones, and she didn't like it. And I was like, well, it is burnt, you know. And then she said it was dry because I didn't use buttermilk, which I was like, okay, how do you know? You don't make biscuits from scratch. But then I made her try one that wasn't burnt, and I woke up before she could try it.
I hate it when I wake up before I get to try some food. But
Yeah,
it was the other way around when mom didn't get to try it, huh?
right. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like baking. So,
Yeah.
and I think I had actually just watched someone make biscuits on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So
oh, I
I was
want
gonna
to try
say
that.
buttermilk is a legitimate ingredient in biscuits.
Yeah, I know. That was what that lady was using.
I love me some biscuits. When mom makes
Me
biscuits,
too.
if we have some, she'll dip the dough in bacon grease before she pops them in the oven, and it's so good. So good.
I need to actually try to make biscuits from scratch, you know?
Yeah.
Because they don't seem hard.
They're not, but if you overdo it, they'll turn out hard, like the texture.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
turn out like hockey pucks. I tend to overmix them whenever I do them. No, I haven't. I
Oh,
haven't
really?
done them many times, I will say, but the times I have, sometimes I tend to overmix them.
The lady that I was watching make biscuits on TikTok, she does this thing where she has like a whole bowl of flour, and then she makes like a small well in the middle, and
Mhm.
then she adds in lard
Yeah.
and then buttermilk. And then she kind of like lightly throws more and more flour from the sides on top of it until it
Uh huh.
becomes a dough. And then she uses that to make the biscuits. And then like she just leaves the rest of the flour in the bowl and puts a towel over it and leaves it on the counter until the next time she uses flour.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the link to her stuff. I was like, man, that looks super easy.
Now I really want biscuits. Damn it.
I always want biscuits.
You know what I've been craving recently? I guess by recently I meant since yesterday because I watched a video about it yesterday. Fucking soul food. Soul food.
But specifically, though,
Fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, greens,
cornbread.
cornbread. All that shit sounds really good right now.
Well, it is summertime, and that's like traditional summer food.
Yup.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
All right, you got another dream?
Yup.
All right, let's hear it.
Alright, this dream's pretty short. Are you ready? You might blink and then miss it. Or
Okay.
what's the equivalent of blinking for ears? I don't know. But you're gonna miss it, maybe.
All right.
So in this dream, I dreamt I slipped and fell while I was running on wet stone. And then I woke up. That was it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was a short dream.
The falling in my dream, I jerked myself awake.
Yeah.
Nessa was walking by the bed. I forget what he was doing, but he was rummaging around the room while I was trying to sleep one night, and he saw me. Whoa, that was a weird jerk. And I was like, yeah, I was running. And then I fell back asleep.
Yeah. I always hate those dreams, and I always tend to like have them right as I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, same here. So I had another short-ish dream that won't take too long to talk about either.
Okay.
I dreamt, and this was so weird, but I dreamt I was also running. I don't know what it was with me running that it was the same night, but I was running, okay? I remember being outside. It was daylight. And I was running through a field, and the field had a bunch of statues. Okay, they were like
Oh.
they're not life size because the actual thing the statues were models of is actually very small, a couple of inches at most in real life. But
Yeah.
the statues were of giant bugs, like human sized or bigger. In my dream journal, I wrote life-size bugs, but they were not life-size. They were huge, towering over me. And the bug statues, it was bug statues who were at war. Okay, so picture an army of
At war
bugs
with what?
at war with each other. There was like a bug war.
Oh, okay.
I remember giant statues of like cockroaches and freaking roly polies just going at it. Ants. But they were statues, so like they weren't moving. But I remember them being like in the middle of war. They had full regalia of armor and weapons. So the spears, they were swords, they were decked out from head to toe with like helmets, chest plates, shin guards, the whole shebang.
And this was before you started playing Grounded?
Yeah. Oh, premonition-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote this 7/21, whenever that was.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was like a week ago.
Yeah. And I remember wondering, wow, this is scary. I remember remembering that it was a dream in my dream. So it wasn't quite a lucid dream because I wasn't able to control my actions or whatever, but I was aware that it was a dream.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I was thinking like, it's a good thing this is a dream because this is scary as fuck. And that's all I remember of that dream.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. That's crazy, though. Bug statues?
You know, I think I dreamt
Like,
it.
why?
Bugs have been on my mind recently because we've been battling ants.
Oh, was there not more to that?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Because it sounded like an unfinished statement. You're like, we've been battling ants.
That's it. We've been battling
Okay.
ants.
All right.
What
But
were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it like makes me wonder who built the statues. Was it other bugs in memory of like what happened, or was it people who witnessed the bug war? I don't know, man, but it keeps me up at night.
Yeah, there are statues, you know. I wonder about like the fucking Easter Island heads.
Easter Island. Yeah. Okay, so the rest of my dreams are a little bit longer, except for this one that I'm gonna talk about right now. So it was weird because I don't think I've ever dreamed about Elena.
Wait, say that.
I don't think I've ever dreamed about Elena before this, but you know who Elena is. She came to game night that one time. So I had a dream that I went on a date with her,
Okay.
but the date wasn't really a date in the traditional sense. We went Christmas caroling.
The date was Christmas caroling?
Yes. But it was weird because I don't ever actually remember us stopping to sing anywhere. But that was what was understood. But I remember going to put my arm around her and she pulled away from me. And that was kind of when I woke up.
Oh.
And I was just, I was like, ugh, what'd you snub me for? And then like I woke up going, why do I care? You know? My other dream that I had that was much longer, which I have 3 more, but I'm only going to talk about this other one.
Okay.
Because this is so weird and ridiculous. I had a dream I was British.
Man.
So in the entire thing, I was still speaking with a British accent, and I was going to a pub with a friend.
Okay.
And while we were there, we ran into this girl that must have been my ex because I was
Like
trying
what?
to avoid her. But I continued to stare at her the whole time, and I noticed that she was with her new boyfriend.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if you know who John Cleese is.
Oh. It's ringing some bells.
Have you ever watched any of the Monty Python stuff?
Yeah.
Or the show Faulty Towers?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, he was one of the members of the Monty Python. Anyway, her boyfriend was John Cleese, but much younger than he would be today.
Oh.
Maybe mid-20s to early 30s. So after I saw him, though, I went and spoke to them for a bit until I couldn't stand the idea of being around them anymore. And I decided that... Okay, I don't know if this was because I was half asleep still when I wrote this, but I wrote this in British slang because I said I couldn't stand to be around them anymore, and I decided my mate and I would go home. And mate meaning like friend,
Uh-huh.
but for some reason the British in me was still going. So we sat in my dark kitchen, drinking and talking, when we heard something in the living room. I got up to go check it out, and it was the young John Cleese breaking into my house. He climbed in the window, and
Oh,
like he hadn't noticed me yet, and he's like straightened himself up, and then he looks up at me, standing over him, and he nodded at me and goes, "All right." And then he did a double take, and we started fighting. And my
just
friend just sat in
immediately?
the kitchen watching the whole time,
That's funny.
and that was when I woke up.
Wow. What a strange dream.
It was because I was like, why was I British in the first place?
Yeah.
Although I do like, British humor.
Yeah.
But it was just like that moment where he looks up at me and goes, "All right." It was very British comedy type, you know.
Yeah. So I googled John Cleese. Yeah, that guy.
You do know who I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a funny bloke.
He is. He is quite funny. I think I've always wanted to be British.
That sounds about right. Though they don't do biscuits like we do.
No, their biscuits are more like cookies.
Yup. I watched a
But
video.
they scones.
Oh yes, guns. I watched a video recently. Did you send me this video of the English kids trying Southern food, Southern American food?
I might have sent it to you. Yeah, probably.
It was like middle school age English boys trying American Southern food, and in particular, they tried biscuits and gravy,
Biscuits and
and
gravy.
yeah, and fried chicken. And you said that was Scottish. Biscuits,
Yeah, it was. I wasn't trying to be
gravy,
British.
fried chicken, and sweet tea. Scottish.
It was funny because watching them do like the sweet tea was really funny because they were just like, "Oh wow, that's really good."
They said it's very sweet, almost like soda.
Yeah,
They loved all that shit. It was funny when they were trying the gravy because they were like, "Do I have to eat that? It looks like throw up."
yeah. They're like, it does not look good.
Yeah, they were not impressed with the
Yeah,
looks, but they were pleasantly surprised with the taste.
that's a lot of American food though. Those guys that actually ran that video, they did a whole thing where they were here in Texas trying food at, different places in Texas. They even went to the rodeo and they had fried Oreos for the first time.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, they were thoroughly impressed. Did you have any more dreams?
Yes, I did. Well, this is kind of short. Okay, so I had another dream last week, and I don't remember what was happening. Oh, I do. Okay, so I had another dream last week. In my dream, I was at my house, and there was a strange, fleshy looking caterpillar slash worm
Hmm.
with wings, okay,
Okay.
that wouldn't fly. It was squirming around our kitchen. And it started on our island counter on a plate. And it was like 5 inches long and the thickness of a pointer finger. So,
Oh, okay.
really strange looking. The way
Yeah.
it moved, though, I didn't remember this. The way it moved, though, was the most alarming thing about it to me in my dream. So, in my dream, I was scared of it, but not because it was a strange looking fleshy caterpillar, but because of the way it moved. Guess how it moved?
Oh.
Okay, so just imagine a stick, and instead of a stick rolling down the hill, it's toppling over long end to long end. It's like
Okay.
unnaturally moving from long end to long end. Can you picture it? I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
So I'm picturing it as stiff the way that it's doing it. So
Yeah,
it's like fully the length that it is the whole time. Instead of what it would do if it was going to do something like that, which is slinky itself.
yeah,
You know? Okay.
exactly. It was pretty stiff looking, but it was moving. Like it would squirm a little bit and then also move like that. I was severely bothered by it in my dream and freaked out and sort of panicking. And in my dream,
Well,
Dream
yeah.
Alice, there was a Dream Alice, and she was just laughing at me the whole time. She's like, even going so far as to let that thing crawl on her finger And I was like, ew, times 100. And that's all I remember of that dream.
That reminds me, did I send you the moth video?
Yeah, you did. Wait, hang on. I gotta think.
The lady
Because I
with the
watched.
moth?
Okay, yeah, then yeah. That was a sweet
Okay,
video.
it was.
She
But I was
raised
like, that is
she
a
raised a
big,
little
chubby
injured.
moth.
She was big as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, if a story with Tasha and a moth would be much shorter.
You ran away from it?
Yeah. This big ass injured moth started crawling towards me like she needed me. And then Tasha walked away.
Absolutely not. Just left.
I mean, on screen, okay, I can appreciate their cuteness. In person,
Yeah.
though, with a big ass moth like that, I don't think I could. I think it'd freak me out.
I don't think so, man. They're so cute. I love moths. I
Oh no.
want one and I want to name it Matthew.
Moth? Oh my gosh.
That little boy had me rolling.
The video of the little boy who named,
Yeah.
who was laughing his ass off.
He was laughing because he named his moth Matthew.
Yeah. It's so cute.
Oh, man. I immediately thought Nesta when I saw that.
Yeah, you send it to him though, he won't get to it until about a year from now.
I've sent him so many things.
Me too. So disappointing.
I'm just going to wait till next game night and then throw my phone in his face and go, here, watch these.
Next game night.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not doing game night tonight.
Oh gosh, it's getting dangerously close to the end of summer break for teachers.
Oh, yeah. When do you go back?
I don't know exactly. I'm kind of in denial about it. I know that like the first day of school for kids is the 16th,
Oh, wow.
and that teachers go back earlier than that, but I haven't bothered to check the exact date.
It's probably the week before.
Oh yeah, it is before. I just don't know when.
Next week, then.
Shut up. Shut your face.
Well, I mean, you kind of need to know this.
No.
What, are you just not going to show up?
Nope. Okay, no, it's not next week. I'm actually looking now on my calendar like a responsible adult.
And it says it's the 7th?
Nope. It's the 9th.
Ah, so Wednesday.
Gross.
Finally have to go back to work.
I'm not ready.
I know, you haven't done any of the things you meant to do this summer.
None of them.
Shameful, really.
Hey, what do you know I was supposed to do?
Books you were supposed to have listened to, you didn't listen to any of them. There were places you were supposed to go.
Did I finish the Purloin Poodle?
That wasn't even part of the main story, though. You're so far behind.
Also, I'm ordering the book. I have it in my cart for Thrift Books. Do you use Thrift Books?
No.
An app? Okay, well, I buy really cheap books off of Thrift Books, so I'm going, it's in my cart. The 5th book is the one I need.
But I always listen to audiobooks anyway, so.
Yeah.
But.
And I did read something. What did I read? Oh! I read a fan fiction. I never thought I would read a fan fiction. And then my cousins at the baby shower were so adamant about how good it was. And you're gonna sigh even more when you find out what it was for.
What was it for?
Harry Potter. Okay, but it was so good. And now I ship Draco and
Did Ron and Harry fall in love? Because that's how all those fan fictions go.
It was Draco and Hermione. Okay, they're meant to be.
Ugh.
I actually loved it, so I would recommend it, but I'm going to save it in case my cousin wants to come on the show. It's her favorite book.
I'll try not to throw up when she starts talking about it then.
Shut up.
But you also, for the last 2 years, were supposed to be working on that book that we were working on.
Oh, yeah.
Over summer. That you've just decided doesn't exist anymore.
It poofed.
Yeah. Well, poof it back into reality and start working on it.
Okay.
That reminds me, I don't know whose turn it was on the story with the one sentence that we were supposed to be trading off.
I was
but
wondering that myself the other day.
I don't think it's your turn, and I don't think it's my turn.
Okay,
I think it's one of the other
not
two.
my fault this time.
But
yeah.
Also, I let Emily read that sentence that I sent you and everybody else, and She had some good notes. She also said that she found it interesting enough that she'd want to read more.
Cool.
And I was like, cool.
So you're gonna
Tight,
write
tight,
more?
tight, 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 tight. What?
Voice. You gonna write more?
I started writing more on it, but I'm thinking about what she said because she thinks that there's too much detail. But I like enough detail that like you can picture exactly what I'm picturing. But at the same time, that will get bogged down into like Stephen King territory where he describes every little thing.
Yeah.
And then you wind up with, a 40-hour audiobook.
I mean, yeah, but
But I mean, in that way, I guess you're not mistaking anything that you're saying. So,
exactly. And also, he's a famous author, so
yeah, that's true.
people dig that.
All right. So, should we get into recommendations?
Yeah. Recommendation.
No, I'm not doing it.
How dare you?
So, we can cut this part out. This might be too much information, but I don't care. I have to stop looking at butts.
Oh, are you addicted?
Well, so I've noticed that I do it even absent-mindedly, and it doesn't matter who it is. I immediately see someone, if they walk past me, I look at their butt. And I'm like, I'm not doing it to be like, ooh, that's a nice butt. I'm just like, I wonder what that butt looks like. But the other day, this girl got in my car, and I had been staring as she walked up and as she left. And she kind of noticed. So,
Did she catch
it is
you?
what it is.
Oh, that's bad.
A little bit. But she didn't say anything about it, and she didn't give me any bad reports on Uber. But in my defense, she was in a bikini, and she was all caked up.
Caked? Oh, cake.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait, do you not know what the kids mean when they say all caked up?
Well, I've not heard caked up before, but I've heard of cake.
But I was just like, man, that is a big butt. I wasn't like thinking like, ooh, man, that's a nice butt. I was just like, that's a really big butt. And I was like, man, I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah, man.
Also, I'm kind of mad at Uber right now.
Uh-oh.
So a few days, before that happened, I got an email that said it was from Uber support. I want to go through the entire thing of what it said. It said, we're writing to inform you that on a recent trip, one of your passengers said that you made comments that seemed discriminatory.
What?
Yeah. And then it said underneath that, so we wanted to get your side of the story before we decide what to do. But then the very last thing said, no response needed.
What
And then
the
I was
heck?
like, well, how are you getting my side of the story if I don't need to respond to this? Even though, like, I obviously know that I've never said anything discriminatory to someone. I think it was these kids that got in my car. And
Okay. I think I'm ready.
go ahead. You go first.
Good. I'm going first because I chose to. I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
I am going to recommend a book called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, written by Ransom Riggs. It's another teen fiction, but such a good read, especially if you're into the dark oddities sort of vibe. What's really cool about this book is that it mixes photography and fiction into it. So
okay.
it's not a picture book. I believe I read this before, but the author himself used photos, like peculiar photos, found photos that cannot be explained away easily to help generate a narrative for his story. So the story itself, it follows a 16-year-old boy named Jacob, and something really tragic occurs within his family, and it sends him and his father off to the coast of Wales, where he discovers a home for peculiar children. And as he explores it, at first, it's abandoned. Later, it becomes not that. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like fantasy, supernatural-ish, sci-fi-ish. That's the genre. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then check it out.
Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I like photography. I consider myself an amateur photographer. So that's something that I might look into then.
Yeah, you should.
So Now I have two recommendations because I can't decide which I want to go with because I had something in mind, but then you reminded me of something else. I'll just go with the one you reminded me.
Okay.
So it's a movie called The Orphanage. I don't think I've recommended that on here yet. It is a foreign film, so I believe it's in Spanish.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that though. I think it is. It's a film by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
right. Okay.
Guillermo. I love Del Toro's work.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. This movie is about this woman who is taking care of an orphanage, but the orphanage isn't what it seems. You'll have to watch it because it's really interesting. And of course, being a Del Toro film, it's kind of weird and spooky in some ways. What I will say is it's kind of a take on a Peter Pan story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very loose take on Peter Pan, so don't get your hopes up on that.
Darker twist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
You know, it's all subtitles, of course. That's why I don't typically recommend those kind of things just because I know subtitles aren't for everyone. But for me, I thoroughly enjoyed that film.
Sweet.
And it was the second Del Toro film I had watched after, Pan's Labyrinth, of course, which I didn't even realize Pan's Labyrinth was going to be foreign language until I started watching it.
Is that the one with Jennifer Lopez?
No?
Okay. I thought she starred in a darker foreign film before.
She might have, I don't know, but Pan's Labyrinth it's got these weird creatures in it and stuff. It's set in like World War II, and this little girl is kind of escaping into this fantasy world, and she's seeing all.
Thank you, Little Dreamers, for listening. Little Dreamers is our Patreon $5 subscription tier. Where can they listen to us, Dustin?
You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Sirius, Pandora, and now on YouTube.
Yes, and you can find us on the socials thanks to Dustin on the TikToks, the Instagrams, and the Twitters.
Yeah, the chat book and the face snap, those things.
True. Right.
We also have an email address at whatmdreams@gmail.com where you can send us your dreams, and we will rate them accordingly and probably make fun of you a little bit.
Just a teensy bit. And again, thank you for listening from the bottom of our hearts, and bye!
Bye. Forever.